Last week, my YouTube channel hit 1,000 subscribers. So first off, thank you to everyone who subscribed and got me to that point. It's been a long time goal of mine I've been working towards, which is a good opportunity to talk about motivation, persistence, and how to keep going when you feel like you're banging your head against the wall. Because frankly, I absolutely felt like I was banging my head against the wall with this. No matter what your goal is, there's 5 key things you got to keep in mind to maintain your motivation. Because the fact is that whatever it is you're trying to do is probably going to be harder than you think it will. The first 4 are kind of obvious. Once I point them out to you, if you don't already know them, you're going to go, oh yeah, duh, I get that. But the last one is the real key. Anything you want to achieve in life that's really profound and meaningful to you, like that's going to be the one thing that gets you over all of the humps. And the lack of this is going to be why you never achieved any of those other goals in your life that you thought were really important, but you never really got there and you kind of gave up and you think about it in the past. So there's one key factor to all of that motivates you more than anything else. And so we'll talk about that. But let's start off with time. So the first key thing to keep in mind, no matter what your goal is your timeline is probably wrong. When I started my YouTube channel roughly a year ago, I thought, okay, well, if it takes 5 years to get 500,000 subscribers, then the first 1,000 should be a pretty easy mark. A couple months, I'll be there, no problem. Well, big hint, it took a year. And as you can see on the screen right now, from this graphic, the first half of that year was banging my head against the wall. No view time. And that's where it became really hard to just stay motivated. And that's also where I did the most work. I was constantly shooting videos, editing videos, learning how to edit videos, doing all this kind of different work, not just throwing everything against the wall, trying to think what sticks, spending money on lighting, on sound, on decorations, on trying to do all those things to look really professional and getting nothing. But look at the second half of that graph. See that? Suddenly everything just goes boom, straight up. I'll get to that in a minute, but you have to suffer through that time period of no apparent results. This is when you're accumulating what is gonna make those results. One way I like to think about this is a teeter-totter. Remember when you were a kid on the playground and you got the little teeter-totters and an adult sat on one side and you sat on the other and it didn't do anything. Maybe if you got a couple of friends and you all got on it together, piled on it together, then it slowly started to go up. So this same kind of thing with any goal. To really get meaningful results, that goal is the adult on the teeter-totter. You have to accumulate all the skills, all the knowledge, all the experience to get to that point where you can get them off the ground. Each time you fail, each new thing you try, whether it works or not, each little side quest you go on is building the weight on the other end of the scale. It's just piling on a little bit at a time, a little bit at a time, a little bit at a time until finally it goes and you lift the weight off the ground. But whatever it is, it's probably going to take longer than you think. So remember, your timeline is probably wrong. So now this brings to number 2, break it down. Whatever your big goal is, it's made up of consistent small steps. You have to accomplish one thing before you can accomplish the other. A journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. Well, it continues with the second step, and then the third step, and the fourth step, and the fifth step, and so on and so on and so on. When you're looking way off in the distance, you can't see 1,000 miles. So there's gonna be things you don't know about, obstacles you have to go around or over or under or through. There's gonna be the steps you know about, and there's gonna be steps you don't know about. And when you reach those steps you don't know about, you just have to do them. Just break it down and do it. Don't get discouraged. For example, with this channel, I knew I needed to learn how to edit and shoot and light and get comfortable talking on camera and all those things. And I thought those would be pretty simple. But turns out I went down a whole side quest with different editing software and different editing approaches until I got a system that worked really well for me. I thought it'd be pretty easy to be comfortable on camera. Turns out I had to do a 30-day personal challenge of talking on camera for 10 to 15 minutes every single day to develop comfort on camera because I just looked weird and stilted. And I still say just did. So all these things I had to figure out for myself and figure out how to actually execute them. It's one thing to say it, it's another thing to execute it. That's one of the main things, is break it down. And don't be discouraged when you hit a task you didn't anticipate. As long as you're accomplishing one step moving forward, you are taking another step on that journey of 1,000 miles. Okay, so that kind of screwed up my plan because I said 5 things and I just put 2 and 3 together. So 2 is break it down to steps you know that you have to accomplish and do them in an order that makes sense. 3 is the unforeseen are still steps. So there you go. There's 1, 2, and 3. As I look at my notes, I see that what I had for number 4 is something else I already talked about, the teeter-totter. So another way to think about this is playing a video game. So I'm not a big gamer, but I do play enough video games to understand how these work. Whenever you start a new game that you've never played before, there's always the initial training mission where you learn how the game mechanics work. And as you move through the game, you accumulate experience, and that experience makes you more powerful. You're powering up. Well, it's the same thing with any goal you're trying to achieve. As you move forward in your goal, you're accumulating experience and you're powering up. And it may not seem like much, because if you're new to the game and you might get level 20 out of 1,000, you might think you're beast mode, but then you go up against somebody else who's been playing for a year or two and they're crushing you without even, just boom, they don't even think about it, you're done. So don't compare yourself to other people, just keep accumulating on your quest. Just keep building that experience, keep knocking out those challenges, keep taking those steps forward. And that brings me to the big one. And this is the one thing that'll keep you motivated through all of this. And I am serious about this because this is the most important thing. If what you say is a really important goal for you doesn't have this one component, then you are not going to accomplish it. It's not that important to you. And that is purpose. Whatever the goal is, it has to have real meaning for you. For me, this channel is getting my message out to other people to help make their lives better. I genuinely believe that what I'm teaching here is going to improve the lives of other people. That's why I started my coaching program. That's why I make these videos. It's why I do everything in life. It's that important. It is why I'm here on this planet. It's got to have a meaning beyond you. You have to feel like it's really contributing something to the community around you. If it doesn't feel that important, you're probably not going to sustain it. So with this channel, after months and months of banging my head against the wall, getting up, making a concerted effort to do at least 1 hour a day, 5 to 7 days a week, something moving this channel forward, I just was getting nowhere. I just felt like I was burning myself out, had no traction. And so I said, you know what, I'm gonna take a break. I'm gonna take a week off. But in that week, I watched a video on a topic that I felt wasn't well represented because it was talking about INFJs, and I am an INFJ. I kind of did an off-the-cuff video. It may be why you're watching this channel now, about the INFJ stare. And I just set the camera up like I did here, and I just started talking to it. Jumped in the software, edited it down to a 5-minute video, and then just posted it. I didn't even look at the thing, and I came back, and suddenly my channel had blown up. I had all of these views on this one thing and all these subscriptions and everything. The numbers just started ticking up. You can see from the graph again, that's when that video hit. It's just like through the roof. Whoa, huge change. Because I didn't do special lighting. I didn't write a special script. I didn't plan anything. So you're like, oh, well, you should have been doing that from the beginning. Because actually, doing that from the beginning would have sucked. Because I did know how to quickly set up my camera. I did know how to record sound in a way that wouldn't be off-putting when you played it. And I did know how to edit it quickly. I had internalized all those things in that 6 months ahead, or 6 months behind. I internalized all those things from the 6 months past, so that when it came time to execute, I was able to do it authentically and easily. And that's what that accumulation was. That's what all that was. The other thing is to look at this graph. You see, after the channel starts going up and I start getting all these subscribers, it's still up and down. It's still not like a perfect rise to infinity and beyond. I celebrated that win of that going on. I celebrated when I hit 500 subscribers, and I celebrated when I hit 1,000 subscribers. Now, compared to other people who've been doing this for much longer and have much more experience, they got better looking channels. They have more experience. They just look better, sound better, edited better, more engaging, all of that. But I'll get there. And the thing is, I'll know when I've got there because the subscriber count will go up, and every one of those subscribers is somebody that I've made an impact on. And that's one of the things that tells me my purpose is having an impact. Every time somebody subscribes or joins or likes something, it tells me that what I said resonated with them. And if I'm trying to make an impact in the world, then what better is that? That's the same thing as sitting in front of somebody, having a conversation, and you tell them something and they're like, oh man, I get it now. That moment, that aha moment, if you have those aha moments, you like, click, and subscribe, it tells me that I'm doing what I set out to do. That's it. That's the video. That's what I got to say on this topic. Short and to the point. I've already asked you to like, click, and subscribe if you didn't get that right there. If you want coaching, you want to dive deeper on that, there's an application, click link below. We'll have a one-on-one call. But really, I just want you to think about what I said and really take it to heart that choose a goal that's really important to you, that you feel like really matters. And there's a lot of things in the world that need fixing right now, so there's lots of things you can choose from. It's gotta be something that genuinely resonates with you, not just something you think should matter or you think is important, but like that really matters to you and you feel like you can really make an impact on. Choose that goal and then apply the other 4 steps. Understand it's gonna take time. It is gonna take longer than you expect. Break it down into chunks. Realize that you're going to run up against unexpected problems and unexpected challenges and obstacles, and that's part of the process, and those are part of the chunks too. And just keep moving forward and accumulating little successes. Even those days when you fail, the fact you spent time is a success. Just keep accumulating that so that when the moment comes, and you don't know when that moment's going to be, you're going to do something and it's going to have a real impact. And you may not even know that you had an impact until much later. That's it. Probably right now, if I edited this right, there's a video that YouTube is showing you to click on next. So check out that one. Hopefully you get something out of that one too, and I'll see you there. Peace.